What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my review of the Discraft Meteor. The one you're looking at on top there is a first run Elite Z Meteor. They've been making these for a while in the ESP plastic. Just started producing them in the Z plastic, so I picked one up, did some testing, and I figured I'd do a review on it. But it'll pretty much serve as a review for the Meteor in general, because I'll show you the ESP and we'll talk about the differences. But there's really not much in the way of difference. They're very similar discs. So the Meteor is a nice straight flying understable mid-range, super easy to throw. I think it's a pretty underrated disc. I think a lot of people could get some good use out of a Meteor, especially if you don't have a big arm. It's a really nice disc because you don't have to put a lot of energy on it to maximize its potential and get it to fly a really nice line. So it's got a nice comfortable rounded rim shape. It feels really good in the grip for sure. These both are 175. They both have pretty flat tops. I was excited when I got this guy out of the package because I was hoping it would have a pretty flat top like my ESP, and it does. In flight, they're very similar. I was testing them, throwing it down a big hill, back up the hill, and down and across the field, and stuff like that, just in a big open field by my house. That worked out really nicely. I got a good feel for the two discs, and I was able to throw them within a few feet of each other multiple times during testing. So I feel like with the same energy, a nice consistent throw, they pretty much fly around the same. If I had to say any difference, I would say the Z is a hair more stable right now, but that could be just because the ESP is something I've been throwing for a while now and is broken in to some degree. So that could be the only difference there. If they were beat into the same degree, they probably fly pretty much identically, which is great. I didn't really want much of a different flight because the ESP Meteor is one of my favorite discs. So it worked out really nicely. It's just very similar. So I'll give you a look at the ESP, even though I took the stamp off and it's got a custom dye job. You can kind of see where the stamp was, Discraft, and then it says Meteor there. The main differences between these two would just be in feel. The Z plastic is not as grippy, but still has a nice feel to it. I didn't have any trouble with this guy popping out of the grip early. I was throwing it with a power grip. Also, my grip had no issues with that. Maybe once or twice, but that could happen with any disc on any time, really. Just a thing that happens, I guess. But the ESP definitely has more of a nice, a softer, tackier feel to it, which I do like. I imagine this guy will continue to be my go-to, and I'll carry the Z every once in a while for just if I want to switch it up. And also maybe if it was a wooded round, because this guy's a nice bright color, and the Z plastic is really tough. So who knows, but they're pretty much backups right now, which is nice. It's good to have backups to the discs that you really like. Meteor is an absolute staple in my bag right now. I've had this ESP one for a little while now, and ever since I got it, it's been one of my favorite discs. It's done a lot of good work for me out there, a lot of great lines. The Meteor in general is very easy to throw. The shots I use it for is I'll throw it very flat and either very soft and looking for it to go very straight all the way, or I'll throw it flat with some good energy and looking for it to pop up and turn. It'll pop up and turn to some degree. Also, if you give it some anhyzer angle, it'll flip and it won't come back. So you can trust it to throw that complete turnover shot, which is really nice. It's great to have a disc that you can trust that'll do that. There's nothing worse than if you got to go left to right and you throw one that's on the line, and then, oh, here it comes fading back, and you're way off the line. I hate that. It's terrible. So the Meteor very rarely does that unless I just throw it very poorly. In general, if you throw it with anhyzer, it's going to flip, it's going to hold it, and it's going to be pretty accurate along the way. The Meteor has a lot of glide. It's one of the farthest flying mid-ranges I've ever thrown. If you get one flipped up just right, it'll just carry for a really long way for tailwind shots and just long downhill shots. It really carries nicely, tons of glide. Another thing that the Meteor is great for is hyzer flip-up shots. Throw it down a little hyzer, let it pop up and go straight. It might finish left if you give it enough height and angle. It might just go straight all the way if you give it the right angle as well. Also, one of my favorite discs for approach shots. If I have the right side open, I'll throw it down on a hard hyzer, but a little bit nose up into the air, let it go up, kind of flip up and ride for a minute, and then use the height for it to fall out on that hyzer line and just kind of stick near the basket. It's a great shot. I throw it a lot with putters if I have the right side open on approach, and I'll step it up to a Meteor if I need a little bit more distance for that similar kind of shot. So I think the Meteor is one of the most underrated discs out there. I think it is probably the best beginner mid-range I can think of, as far as just a great tool for beginners to learn how to throw straight shots, and then also learn how to throw the varying angles, because if you don't have a big arm, it'll pretty much just hold the line you put it on. And then once you start building some consistency and some good form, it'll flip up and ride a little bit. You'll turn, but then you just dial in the angle for that turn. You give it some hyzer, let it pop up. You throw it flat, let it turn over. You just account for that little bit of flip, and it'll still maintain a lot of use for you. So hopefully you guys liked watching the video, and I appreciate the support of my channel at all times, and everybody's always really great with the comments and everything, so keep them coming. I appreciate the support as always, and go check out a Meteor. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.